Welcome students. In this video we will discuss chapter 1 of history, that is bricks, beads and bones. So the chapter begins with the introduction to the Harappan civilization. As we have heard about this civilization, but in this chapter we will discuss the two planned cities, Mohenjo-daro and the Harappan sites. So in the beginning, in the introduction, we can see, and it is evident from many sources, that agriculture and pastoralism and crafts, these are evident. The settlements, they were small with no large buildings. The buildings were also small. There is no virtual existence of large buildings, and it seems there was a break between the early Harappan and the Harappan civilization. Why is this so? Because it is evident from large scale burning and abandonment of some sites or some settlements. Now we will see the eating habits and food which the people in the Harappan civilization they were having or they were eating. The Harappans, they used to eat a wide range of plant and animal products including fish, as suggested by archaeobotanists. Archaeobotanists are the people who are specialized in study of ancient plant remains. Since study of plants is botany, and since it is related with history, so archaeobotanists are the persons who study the ancient plant remains and try to frame up the history. So as suggested by the archaeobotanist, a wide range of plant and animals including fish were eaten or included in the food by the Harappan people. Regarding food grains, charred food grains, they have been found. Charred food grain means a food grain which was covered with a charcoal for proper baking. So in the food grains, wheat, barley, lentils like pulses, dalein, chickpea, sesame and millets, they were found in Gujarat. Millets were found in Gujarat, especially Dholavira, the site which is present in Gujarat. And in as compared to plants, when it comes to animal bones, the bones of animals like cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, pig, they have been found, and it suggests that the Harappans, they were domesticating these animals. How we come to know about this? This is because of the archaeozoologists. Like earlier I told you about archaeobotanists, in the same manner the archaeozoologists, they also study the animal remains, their bones of the ancient animals, and try to formulate and frame up the history. So it is evident from the bones which have been found at different sites that these animals, the cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo and pig, they were domesticated. And the bones of some wild animals like boar, deer and ghadial, they were also found. Ghadial is a close relative of crocodile. Then agriculture. The people living in the Harappan civilization, they were actually farmers. They were involved in farming. How we come to know? As some terracotta sculpture and seals they were found, there were pictures of bull. So it is evident from these terracotta sculpture and seals that bull was known to people. And since bull was known to people, it suggests that oxen was used for plowing. Terracotta plough was found at Cholistan and Banwali in Haryana. These are two Harappan sites located in India. And a well plowed field at Kalibangan in Rajasthan has also been found. When it comes to field, that is the agricultural habits. The field was having two sets of furrows, that is two rows at 90 degree to each other, at right angles to each other. This suggests that two different crops were grown at same time, that is they were actually practicing multiple cropping. The Harappan sites, in some Harappan sites, these were situated at semi-arid land. That means a land where the soil is dry. So, since the semi-arid land was there, so irrigation was required for agriculture, and for irrigating the fields, the sources of water needs to be there. So, canal traces have been found at Shotgun in Afghanistan. Later on, it is estimated that these canals, they were silted up long ago and they dried, and it is also a possibility that the water is drawn from wells which was used for irrigation. Water reservoirs, they were found in Dholavira in Gujarat, and these water reservoirs might be possible. There is a strong possibility that these water reservoirs or wells, they were used to store water for agriculture. Now we will study about Mohenjo-daro, a well known, a very well known site and a very well planned urban center. Although Mohenjo-daro is a well known site, but Harappa was the first site to be discovered. When it comes to settlement, in Mohenjo-daro, the settlement was divided into two sections. One, the smaller section, and the other one, the larger section. In the smaller section, the buildings were constructed on a higher platform, that is, this smaller settlement was higher. Although it was smaller, but it was higher, and the larger settlement, it was lower. So the higher settlement came to be known as citadel, and the lower settlement came to be known as the lower town. The citadel, in the citadel, the buildings, they were constructed on mud bricks, and these were constructed on a raised platform. That is, this raised platform is known as citadel. And some of the monuments, historical monuments built during the Mughal period, they were also formed on a raised platform, and the most prominent examples being the Jama Masjid and the Lal Killa. So citadel was still prevalent even during the Mughal period also. So the citadel, the buildings, they were constructed on mud brick platforms, and they were walled. That means they were physically separated from the lower town. The lower town, although it was larger and it was also walled, but there were several buildings which were built on platforms, and these platforms, they were actually not citadel. These platforms, they served as foundation for these buildings. The settlement was planned first, then implemented. The bricks which were used for construction, they were either sun dried or baked, but they were they were made and built in a standardized ratio. That standardized ratio being length and breadth 4 times and twice the height. That is, the length and breadth were 4 times and the height was double. Now comes the drainage, the very important part. Drainage was very carefully planned system. The Mohenjo-daro was having a very well carefully planned drainage system. The roads and street were laid along in grid pattern like this. This was the grid pattern, and the roads and bricks, they were formed in this pattern, cutting each other at right angles. The streets and drains, they were laid first, and then houses were built along them. Thank you. That's all we have in this video. In the next videos, we will discuss some more interesting facts about Mohenjo-daro. Thank you. Have a nice day.